So over the past year, I've spent a lot of time working with agency owners to help them scale through content, and one of the key pillars that I always rely on with my services is a video sales letter. I've seen so many agencies not have one of these in place, and that alone is a huge missed opportunity. And today we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail. So if you're an agency owner and you want to scale your business and you don't have a video sales letter, make sure to watch to the end to learn more about what it is, why you should have one, how it works, and we'll actually go through some examples as well. So in this video, I'll break down what a VSL actually is, why every agency should have one, how it can help you convert more traffic into qualified calls, and as I mentioned, some real examples which will definitely be useful to see. Now, based on my experience, I've learned that most agencies are focused on pretty much just one thing: getting more traffic, especially on strategy calls, speaking with founders. This is something I hear a lot. The priority is getting more traffic, which is usually through paid ads, and this is the number one priority. Get more traffic onto the website or wherever you want to send it to. It can also mean getting more visitors, more leads, more opportunities. That's the main goal. But with this, there is quite a big problem. If your website isn't converting that attention into qualified calls, more traffic just simply won't solve the problem. The best agencies don't just generate attention, they have systems that turn attention into sales conversations. And one of the most powerful conversion assets you can build is a video sales letter. See, most agencies are leaving money on the table. They focus heavily on acquisition, whether this is through producing more content, running more ads, focusing heavily on outbound, and just trying to get more traffic onto their page. But they often neglect the conversion side, and this gets really overlooked. Someone lands on your website, what happens next? Maybe they have a scroll, read a few sentences, browse through your services to see exactly what it is that you offer and whether it is applicable to them. Maybe they check out some of your case studies if you have any, and then they probably just leave after that. But your website is supposed to sell your service before someone ever gets on a call, especially in B2B, where services are expensive, buying decisions take longer, and trust is everything. It's one of the most important factors you can build for your agency, especially as a founder creating content. So you need something in place that educates, builds trust, handles objections, and moves someone towards booking a call. So before we go into more detail on this, let's first get clear on what a VSL actually is. Obviously, it stands for a video sales letter. You probably know what this is. Essentially, it's a sales page delivered through video instead of someone reading a long sales page. You typically use video, storytelling, visuals, educating your audience, proof, stuff like that. And the main goal is to take them from thinking, who are these people, to thinking, I understand exactly what they do, I trust them, and I want to work with them. A good VSL typically explains exactly who you help, so your ICP, and this is obviously so you can actually talk to them specifically and grab their attention and not be generic. What problem you solve, this is obviously important because you want to speak to your ICP's pain points. Why your approach is different, so what sets you apart from competitors. If you're an email marketing agency, for example, what makes you stand out from the thousands of other email marketing agencies out there. Your process, so what that actually looks like, and this is usually quite helpful for your audience to know because it helps them actually understand exactly what things will actually look like when you work together. Proof and results, obviously that's very important. Social proof is what builds the most trust out of anything. Objections, so typically you want to handle objections in your video sales letter before the viewer even brings them up on a call, for example. Because a VSL isn't just to convert more traffic, it's to also make sales calls way smoother and essentially take these sales calls from being a long 45-minute call where you're repeating yourself every time, explaining the same things, answering the same questions, handling the same objections, to making it more of just a payment call. The founders who have a strong VSL in place usually have quite short calls because everything is explained in the video sales letter, assuming the person on the call has watched it, which they should. And they typically turn up to calls with no objections, no questions, because everything is answered in the video, and that's the actual point as well. So it's not just increasing conversions, but also increasing the actual quality of the calls you take with higher quality prospects who already know pretty much exactly what you do. So calls are going to be a lot smoother, and it typically explains why someone should take action, so creating a bit of urgency. Now, why should every agency have a VSL? So in my time doing marketing over these past couple of years, I haven't seen many assets as powerful as a well-built video sales letter, because it's essentially a 24/7 salesperson for your business. This is the analogy I use all the time when speaking to agency owners on calls. A 24/7 salesperson, that's pretty much what it is. That's the best description of what a VSL is and what it does. It works while you're sleeping, while you're working with clients, while you're generating more traffic, whether you're out for a coffee or having a walk down the beach, whatever it is. It's constantly going to work, assuming you're actually getting decent traffic on your website. The key thing to understand is that it doesn't replace sales calls, it improves them, as I mentioned earlier. A VSL does the selling before the call. One of the biggest problems with agency sales calls is the prospects simply aren't educated enough, and you spend the entire call explaining the same things every single time. What you do, who you help, why your process works, why they should trust you, etc. A VSL solves a lot of this beforehand, so by the time someone actually books a call, they already understand your offer, your positioning, your process, and your value, and the call becomes less about convincing and more about understanding if there's a fit. And one of my favorite things about a VSL isn't necessarily that you convert more traffic on your website, but it's the fact that it creates higher quality leads. Because not every lead is a good lead. If you run an agency, you probably know that. You've probably had a lot of calls in the past and a lot of leads that are just simply not worth your time. And some prospects just don't understand your offer well enough, they aren't ready, or they just simply aren't the right fit. But a VSL naturally filters these people. The people who watch and still book a call are way more likely to be serious, and it pre-qualifies prospects before they ever enter your calendar. So as I mentioned, the quality of calls you take skyrocket immediately. And this also saves time and improves the quality of conversations. Now, real quick, if you're enjoying this video and you're interested in building systems that help your agency generate more inbound opportunities, I've actually put together a full breakdown of how I help agencies build these systems, including video sales letters. And you can find that through the first link in the description if you're interested, but let's carry on with the video. So let's look at some examples. So number one, Dominate Media. This is a content marketing agency. And as you can see, if you go to their website, they've got the headline, a video which is around 15 minutes long in total, and then a button here to book a call, which you'd obviously click after watching the video. And this VSL clearly explains who they are, who they help, what they do, and why their approach is different. Instead of forcing prospects to figure everything out themselves through a website, the VSL guides them through the buy-in journey. It builds authority by showcasing their expertise and positioning them as a trusted partner. It also builds trust, which is key, through educating their ICP and helping these prospects understand the value of content before booking a call. And the key takeaway from this specific VSL is that it doesn't just sell your service, it helps prospects understand your offer, trust your expertise, and feel more confident taking the next step. Let's look at the second example here. So Sentinel Acquisition, a lead gen agency. Again, similar format. So you've got headline, a sub-headline here. The video, I think this one was around 10 to 15 minutes long as well, but it's typically a good length. You don't want it to be much shorter than that because otherwise it doesn't really answer enough questions and go into enough detail. And if it's longer, typically it doesn't really need to be. So this lead gen agency uses their VSL to walk prospects through their entire approach of what they do. The structure is built around the problem they solve, why traditional lead gen methods fail, their unique process, and proof that their system works. Instead of immediately pushing a sales call, they educate prospects and build understanding first. The VSL handles common objections before the call, typically questions that they probably got on sales calls before they built the VSL, so you obviously want to answer them beforehand. And then by the time someone books a call, they already understand the offer and have more confidence in moving forward. And the key takeaway from this one, a strong VSL doesn't just explain what you do, It answers the questions your prospects already have before they ever get on a call. Lastly, Magicianly, which is an email marketing agency. This is a really good example as well. Really strong VSL here on their website. And they use this VSL to create a more personalized buying experience for potential clients. Instead of relying on a generic website that just makes prospects piece together information themselves, which is more effort, the VSL guides them through this. So their approach, their expertise, the results. And this creates a stronger first impression because prospects can understand the agency before ever speaking with someone. It also separates them from competitors because most agencies simply list their services and wait for prospects to reach out. But this VSL positions them as a trusted expert rather than just another service provider. And the key takeaway from this one is a VSL can become a competitive advantage because it gives prospects a better experience before the sales conversation even begins. And a VSL isn't just for your website. A common mistake is thinking a VSL is just something you put on your homepage and then move on, but this usually isn't the case. You want to actually get it to anywhere where you can get eyeballs on it, because it's an asset you can distribute everywhere. So your website, YouTube, email, etc. And even in your sales process, you can even send it to prospects before booking a call. And it's really important that they do watch it beforehand. Maybe you can, make it more of a requirement rather than an optional thing, telling them, hey, check out this video before our call, and then you can follow up with them to see if they did. Because the real value of a VSL typically comes down to 4 things. It pre-sells your prospects, pre-qualifies your prospects, disqualifies poor fit prospects, and increases your conversion rate. So this ties back to kind of filtering out the quality of prospects, which is really important, and then the conversion rate, which is obviously the big one. It helps you get more from the traffic, attention, and leads you're already generating, because more traffic isn't always the answer, as I've mentioned. Sometimes you need a better system for converting that traffic. So one of the things I want to leave you with is this. Most agency owners are focused on getting more attention, but the agencies that win long-term understand something really important. Attention only becomes valuable when you have a system to convert it. A VSL is one of the best conversion assets you can build because it works around the clock, educates your prospect, builds trust, and creates better sales conversations. If you're already creating content, running ads, or generating traffic, make sure you have something in place to turn that attention into opportunities. And if you'd like to see exactly how I help agencies build these type of systems, the first link in the description walks you through everything. You can check it out and see if it makes sense for your agency. And if it does, we can have a chat about this and sort out your content systems and VSLs to scale your agency, book more calls, and increase your quality of traffic. So make sure to check out the top link in the description if you're interested. And for now, I'll see you in the next video.